Good morning. Welcome to Thoughts Can Change Your Life with me, Reverend Lee. Thought I'd talk about something interesting. But to me, just about everything can be interesting. And the question I asked is, what causes our problems to intensify? Why do we take something very small and build it up into a monumental problem? I'm sure you've experienced that in your life, haven't you? I'm sure that you have taken something and blown it so out of proportion that you couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, couldn't act. You thought your life was over. And then it turned out to be nothing like that. And the second you realized it was nothing like that, guess what? All of the angst, all of that nonsense fell away. And the reason what happens is we take something small and we've been taught to let our imagination run away with it. We just run away with it. And if we just took back control of our imagination and didn't let our imagination build and create this problem bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, we would have an easier time dealing with the problem. We would be dealing it at a level of reality, not at a fantasy level where we think that we can't deal with it. I'm sure you understand what I'm talking about. And one of the things that happens is that we watched the movie Auto last night with Tom Hanks. Not a very happy movie. Pretty darn depressing movie for most of it. But what came out of the movie for me was the reason he was in such a dark state was because he had no juice. For him, the only juice he had in his life was his wife. And after she passed, he had nothing to live for. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm married. I've got a wife of 50 plus years. I love her more than anything else in the world. But she's not the reason I'm alive. I'm alive to do what brings me the greatest joy. And if something happens to Jean or were to happen to Jean, it would crush me. But it wouldn't destroy me because I still have my passion. I still have my desire to connect into awareness, into oneness. I still have my desire to teach. I still have my desire to form interpersonal relationships. I still have my desire to make the most out of life. And so we wonder, what are we going to make out of life? And so I thought, just before I got on, I said, let me see something. So I went to ChatGPT. Yeah, artificial intelligence. And I asked it a question. And you know the question I asked it? I asked it, what are the best quotes of Lee Wallach? That's right. And so here's what ChatGPT came back and said. Lee Wallach is a life coach, speaker, and author who focuses on personal and professional development. Here are some of his best quotes. The greatest power we have is our ability to choose. Success is not a destination. It's a journey that begins with a decision. The only limits we have are the limits we place on ourselves. We're all capable of achieving great things if we have the courage to pursue our dreams. Happiness is not a choice. It's a result. Nothing will make you happy until you choose to be happy. Believe in yourself and all that you are. Know that there is something inside you that is greater than any obstacle. The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. That's probably one of my favorites. Your thoughts shape your reality. Choose your thoughts. Choose thoughts that empower you and lead you to positive outcomes. Every setback is an opportunity for growth. Embrace challenges and learn from them. Success is not about how much money you make or how many possessions you accumulate. It's about the positive impact you have on others. When I saw that, I said, oh my God, Even artificial intelligence sees what I'm all about. I'm kidding, because I don't need that to affirm me. I affirm me every day. Anita says, I've been walking, meditating, doing deep breathing exercises, and working on keeping a positive mental attitude while realizing my dad's impending mortality with pancreatic cancer. Any suggestions? Tell him you love him. Tell him you're grateful for everything he taught you, and that you see and that you know he did the very, 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 very best he could. It'll free you. It'll free him. And if he's close to dying, let him know it's okay if he lets go. Not a conversation I thought I'd have today, but we are all facing death at some point in our lives. The key thing is, don't wait till they're dead. Don't wait till someone that you love is dead before you tell them how much they mean to you, how much you care, how grateful you are for them in your lives. I do that every day. In particular with my wife. Every day I tell her what I'm grateful for. I wasn't like this before. I kept all that stuff to myself. Now I don't. There's no reason to. Why wouldn't I tell someone what I'm grateful for about them? Makes me feel good. Hell, it makes them feel good. You know what that sounds like, folks? Sounds like a win-win situation. I'd rather focus on gratitude than dealing with problems. Because problems are little things that we build up and blow up out of proportion, and they paralyze us. Look at what Richard's out there saying. With a big enough lever and a fulcrum on which to place it, you can change the world. The lever is love, the fulcrum is you. Go, Richard, go. Richard's always thinking in those geometric and mathematical terms. All sickness is not unto death. I'm not sure what you mean by that, D. I don't know what you mean by that. I need more to talk about that. D says, you can have what you say. It's not just what you say, D. It's what you believe. It's what you say, you think, you feel, and you act on. You got to have all four of those. Otherwise, it might just be empty words. Hey, I want to be a billionaire, but you don't believe it. You don't feel it. You don't act as if, well, you're not going to be a billionaire. Because that takes special skills. It takes a really different focus. Not many people have the focus of a billionaire. Not many people have that billionaire idea and that billionaire mindset. Well, Michael says, Sherry Hall, and I love you, Reverend. Oh, maybe Michael is Sherry speaking. You know, you folks, when you type things in, this is the funny thing about communicating in text. It's the funny thing about communicating in DMs and all that, because we assume the other person on the other end knows the backstory. We don't. You got to give more info. I don't do texting much because there are more problems created with texting because there's so much left to the imagination, and people naturally take the text and make it into something worse or something it wasn't completely. I don't like text is for, hey, lunch at 12 at Maggiano's? Yes, see you then. That's the text. That's what texting is for. It's not about feelings. So many people break up with people on a text message, on an email. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I hear that people said, my God, my partner that I've been dating for 3 years texted me, we're done, and now won't answer. Ghosting. What the hell is that all about? I don't know. Sounds like people are chicken. Chicken to talk and have a meaningful conversation. Corey says, it's nice to hear you are recording some meditations. I am, Corey. I've got one already done. I've got the healing the inner child. I've got one that I'm working on right now calling on creating a self-worth. I'm going to create a whole series of them. And then I'm going to find someone who can find a way where I can put them on the website in a way where we can benefit Agape. My goal is I want to sell the meditations for a very nominal fee, but I want to sell them so I can get money to advertise what we do at Agape, to bring this teaching to more and more and more and more people. I don't want to become rich by it. I've already got enough money. What I want to do is I want to bring the teaching that empowers other people. Because the more people that can be empowered, the greater our life experience is. And that's the model of the Centers for Spiritual Living, to build a world that works for everyone. Because it can. But you can't create the world for another person. You give them the tools, and then they create the world. Do you hear what I'm saying? You don't give them a handout. You give them a hand up. And the hand up is always the tools, how to use your mind. Well, I got a little long-winded today, and I'm grateful you took the time to listen to me. Hey, I did a good talk yesterday. I decided to go back and do a talk on YouTube, and the talk is, what is the science of mind? It's a very simple talk. It'll give you a really clear idea of how I see the science of mind that was written and brought out by Ernest Holmes, who I just love Ernest Holmes. I think the man was absolutely brilliant in the way he assimilated all these concepts. And with that, I'm going to say to you, don't make problems any bigger than they are. They're much easy to deal with when we keep them small. Know that I love you just the way you are. Create a great day, everyone. Aloha.